What is an institutionally attractive company? So, I'm sure you've heard it before. Somebody has some great idea for some business. Now they just want to magically raise a mountain of money. And they'll just say the right magic words and they'll be instantaneous billionaires. And that could be the case. That's not really the realm in which I operate. So I'm just a lowly IT staffing and services M&A banker. What that means is I have a subspecialization in a very small universe of companies that operate in the space of the intersection of people, consulting, and technology. And the one thing they all have in common is to be institutionally attractive, they have to make money, kind of a lot of it. So at the very, very, very small end of institutional attractiveness, this would be something too small really for me to typically represent, is a business that earns EBITDA of at least $1 million. And that would be only attractive if it's what's called a bolt-on, a tuck-in, or an add-on. In other words, something that isn't yet strong enough to stand on its own, but would be an attractive business unit into a larger enterprise. So this would be something that would add geographic capability, it could add skills capability, it could add specific staff, talent, certifications, something that make it a better decision to buy rather than to build internally. So at the very small end of institutional attractiveness, we have tuck-ins. Further up the scale, we have larger tuck-ins, and keep in mind, the lawyers cost the same. The quality of earnings report that most likely is going to be needed will cost about the same. And the time involved will take about the same. So the only thing separating it at this point becomes size, scale, scope, and what we call bite size, or how large a transaction a particular set of buyers is willing to undertake. So 2 to 5 million is about the low end of something that would be institutionally attractive that I'd represent. And going further up, 5 million and above to, let's say, 12 million plus in EBITDA is something that gets more and more meaty and interesting. And so this would be not a bolt-on, but what is considered a platform investment, strong enough with enough infrastructure, enough bench strength inside the company, enough management layer that it could stand on its own. It's now grown past the founder layer. The owner is no longer necessarily the operator, but can be. But at this point, not typically. They've usually removed themselves from the business, have insulated from the operating level, and have now graduated up to the board overseer level, in many cases, not all. And so this would be what's considered institutionally attractive. So you're looking for companies, and this is in the mid-market, companies that have strong cash flow, strong earnings, and would be able to at least get 75% debt to equity ratio. And so the remainder would be financed in either actually hard equity money that isn't commercial capital financed. And it could be an equity role. It could be the equity could be financed with deferred compensation or even a buy-in later. So these are companies that typically institutions are seeking. These are the institutions that investment bankers love to represent, myself included. And so that is what is an institutionally attractive investment.